Greetings, rise and shine, brethren. We are the World Global Reset Restoration Network family, comprised of 198 sovereign nations with over 7 billion sovereign principles, being of one mind, one heart, and one spirit, walking together under the divine principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I come to you as a voice in the wilderness to introduce to you a man. No, not just any man, but a man sent by Yah Allah to redeem mankind. Dr. Hindu I.L. Henderson, the Adak Chief Justice of the Universal World Court, and who's also known as Yahoshua Mashiach, the Son of Man. The information that you will be receiving in this and other videos you won't get from anywhere else on the planet. Hear the many truths and fulfillment of the laws, judgments, and sentencings from our Creator, Father Yah, as well as the fulfillment of the true interpretation of the Holy Scriptures and books. Now, without further ado, Dr. Hindu I.L. Henderson with his beloved host, Shelley Bolling.
Family, we've got a lot of changes going on in our nation right now as the authorities are doing their best to fight something that is a known bioweapon known as coronavirus. The cure to this does not lie in man's ability to figure it out, or in the case of our government officials, throw a pile of money at it. The cure to this lies solely in the hands of Father Yah Allah and His Son. The Scriptures have told us that the healing of our land comes from His children bowing their knee, praying, repenting, turning from their wicked ways, seeking His face, and that He will have the Son heal the land. It's a simple thing, family. The Son of Man has come to us in simplicity and has simply explained how these things work that Father Yah Allah has put in place. It's something we've known for a long time as it's been written, and it's plain as the nose on our faces, right there in the Scriptures. We try to make things complicated, and actually the ones making it complicated are those that are still just trying to fight to stay in power. Right now we've got idiots running around this country doing all kinds of stupid things. Some woman in Pennsylvania went through a particular grocery store, coughing on the produce, coughing on baked goods, coughing on meat. They got her out of there, but it was only after she damaged approximately $35,000 worth of food. Hundreds of families could have been fed off of that food. And with the concerns of food security that we've got in this nation right now, she created, from one simple act, a massive problem. They had to throw all the food out. However, she will be charged. Situations like this have been going on around this country in the last few weeks. People intentionally vandalizing and destroying things. So just this week, the Justice Department came out with another memo that said anyone doing this, spreading coronavirus intentionally, whether it's walking up to somebody and coughing on them and telling them you've got coronavirus, or coughing and sneezing on food, or whatever, that you are going to be held accountable as a terroristic threatening with prosecution, and in some cases could lead to life imprisonment. This is no joke, family. For years, Dr. Henderson and I have been telling you that when these things started happening, to stay off the streets and stay out of the way. Now in South Africa, our brothers and sisters over there, now their military's in their streets. This nation, the U.S., if you still want to call it a nation, has actually been under martial law since the towers came down in 2001. Now, they've not heavily enforced it, but that heavy enforcement is increasing. You've already seen the effects in the last few weeks of lockdowns, businesses shutterings, etc. It's going to get worse before it gets better, family. We've told you over the last few years on these calls that eventually you're going to be seeing soldiers in your own streets. Several cities have started implementing curfews, not just in this country, but around the world. In our own area, we're seeing curfews of the young people. We're seeing curfews of everyone throughout the evenings. This is a known bioweapon. Yahoshua Mashiach, Dr. Henderson, told us that this bioweapon was coming. And now here we're dealing with it. A lot of chief executive officers of a lot of the major corporations started resigning in the last year. They started making plans. When I say they, I'm talking about the global elite. Those connected with vaccines, like the CDC, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundations. They started doing test runs on what would happen if that pandemic was released in the world. So it's very obvious this is something that they planned on doing. But even in still that, they are not in control. Father Yah and His Son are in control. All Father Yah has to do is declare a thing and it is done. And what He knows, the Son knows. So therefore, as He speaks, if we are wise, we will take to heart everything that He says and act accordingly. We have been hearing now for 7 years, coming up on 8 years, the voice of Yahoshua Mashiach, the Son of Man, in Dr. Henderson. Everything that he has told us has been truth. And we have watched these things manifest. The world has tried to ignore him and reject him, that he's not going anywhere. Father Yahushua has placed this planet under his stewardship, and as the rightful heir of this planet, they will make sure that what needs to get done gets done. So we're going forward, family, swiftly towards that end, knowing that everything that Father Yahushua has told us throughout all of these years in the Holy Scriptures has already started coming to pass, is coming to pass, and will complete itself clear up through the final war of Armageddon, battle of Armageddon, and the kingdom that will have no end of Yahushua.
United Nations, as we go forward, knowing that even with the COVID would-be virus, no one has even paid any attention to the way they're actually spelling it. It is called covert, but it's being pronounced as COVID-19. But no one is paying any attention to the spelling of it. COVID-19. COV is a company, corporation. We understand that. Always saying that this is a company or an organization. Being first, a verse is what is known as ID. Identification. Identify yourself. Who are you? This is 19th. This came all the way from the 19th century. And now we're moving into the 23rd century, and we still don't want those people to recognize the fact of what's going on. 19th century. Everything went, we would say, backwards in the 19th century. 1933, everyone understands exactly what that means, United Nations, when you mention 1933. You don't have to say that and mention some president's name in the United States of America. When you say 1933, everyone on the planet understands and understands what happened in 1933. Everyone knows. It happened to everyone. Just as it's happening now. A depression. Everyone understands it now. What is known as a recession. Everyone knows now where the world went to a point where even the stock exchanges crashed and all of those things. So everyone should understand what COVID-19 means. They should understand the COVID. Yes, company, corporation, versus what is known as the identification, an ID of all the people that were around even in the 19th century and thereafter, and if we might say, there before, which now has not yet been given their equal opportunity to go forward, to live on the planet equally as all men have been created to do such. We do understand that when first putting all of these things together, it's very hard for one to believe that the minds of those like unto myself, who they deem to be a nobody, trying to tell everybody about somebody who can save anybody, they do not believe in there would be so-called spirits, if they do have them. They do not believe that one could be able to come up with all of this information. One cannot be able to write all of this information. One cannot have put all of these would-be operations together out of one mind or two minds of two individuals. They can't believe that one would have had the minds of the numbers to be able to set up the finance system, to build a number system where no man could be able to crack it. No man would be able to override it. No man could be able to manipulate it. No man could be able to destroy it. And surely no wicked man would be able to put his hands on it. But no one wants to believe that. No one wants to believe it. No one wants to believe that one man has the ability to run the letter where he will write words, and those words will have true meaning. destroy it, and no wicked man definitely would not be able to touch it. No one wants to believe this. No one wants to believe that now there is a true law on this planet that succeeds and exceeds all of the laws on the planet, whereby they have been nothing more than wicked laws to put the people in oppression, and which they have been in since 1933, COVID-19. All of these things now must come to pass, and they will. And as long as Yahoshua Mashiach is talking and speaking these things of truth, they will become greater. And I can say to you, Yahoshua Mashiach does not have to open his mouth to be able to speak to the Father. For he and the Father, they have become one. One mind, one heart, and one spirit. And thereby I can say to you, to try to silence him, you will have to silence